Hi, I'm Rob,
And I'm Angie.
and together we are TwinFinity.
We are twin flames back with another question and answer. It's been a very long time because it's been a very long, intense, painful month of energy. It's been dreadful.
Some of us have been really so busy that I've not really sure why I've been so tired. And others of us have been just feeling a ton of energy and have really just had none to spare.
And technology wars. Oh my dear God. Some people have done videos and said it's like a retrograde lately with we're not astrology people, and even though I listen to this stuff, I don't remember which one it is. Maybe it's Saturn, I think, that's in retrograde. If it's not,
That's what I
I
heard.
don't know.
Saturn.
Okay.
I'll go with Saturn.
It's been making my life a bit of a hell, as it is for other people, from what I've heard. We got off completely scot-free on Mercury retrograde, had zero problems. This thing, it's been a nightmare. Complete, utter, total nightmare. So if you're feeling that too, my deepest apologies. Not that I have anything to be sorry for, but I just feel bad for you because I know the hell I've been going through. It's been rough.
Yeah.
I've almost taken a hammer to my computer more than once. I've finally just had to walk away, and Rob will be like, "It's not going well." I'll be like, "No, it's not."
And this is not Angie.
No.
She technological whiz.
I love computers normally.
Well, I love them when they're doing exactly what I need them to do without much effort. That means I don't have a lot of love for computers. It doesn't happen often.
So every time we do a question and answer, we say, yeah, we intend to do these every 2 weeks, and then we don't. And you know what? I'm just going to stop saying that because I'm tired of making empty promises. And we're usually very authentic. Not that we're not authentic, but we're authentic in when we say something, we do it. We're very, what's that word? It's not authentic, but
we're just timely. We stick to our word.
Yeah. And we just haven't been able to, just because we have to honor the energies, our body, our exhaustion. I have just been ridiculously exhausted.
And we've been distracted with other things too.
Yeah.
We've really tried to enjoy summer this year, and it's been a tough summer to enjoy because, I'm kind of having to sneak in summer in between the odd rainstorm here and there. But really, we've been busy. We've had a good summer, and it's taken us off of our game. But I guess that's what winter's all about, because when it gets cold outside, we'll be inside more.
Yes. But it hasn't even just been summer. I've had like way busier work than normal. I've had way more challenges with secretary stuff. You've had a lot of work going on with construction going on at work.
Yes, construction, renovations at work.
It's just been life.
Yeah. And the boss has been on holidays. That's another fun one. Hi, everybody. I'm going on holidays. You look after construction. Okay. Why does that happen? I'm not asking that question.
Yeah.
Other people ask these questions.
So not that we're making excuses, we're just telling you our intentions are always to do regular videos, but
didn't make it.
No, I'm learning to just honor what is instead of forcing ourselves to do it weekly, because it's just, if the energy's not there, the energy's not there.
Speaking of which energies and things coming up, I'd like to lead you into that.
Oh, okay.
There is a workshop that we are attending / actually helping with facilitation with coming up at the end of September.
Yes, which is not even that far from now, a week and a half away. So this is, of course, September 27th, 28th, 29th. That's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And that is 2019, just to clarify, in case you're watching this sometime in the future.
2 or 3 or 5 or 10 years in the future.
Or a month.
Okay, a month.
So this is in Niagara Falls, U.S., just across the border from Niagara Falls, Canada. For those of you that live in Toronto and that kind of area, super quick, easy for you guys to come across the border. There is still space available. There is still tickets available. We will leave the link below for that. Just if you're not one to follow links below, or click below the video for more information, you can just go to Marla Kelly's website, twinstrology.com. It's right on her very front page. Easy to find, easy to read all the information. So this is with, of course, Marla, who's spearheading this one, and then also Debbie and Kalina. So we're very excited. It's like a week and a half away. It's hard to believe it's coming so quick.
It is. Gonna have to start to pack. Gonna have to start to write some notes and prepare. Actually, I've already started.
Yeah, you've written a lot of notes already.
I have. I've written 3 pages of notes, which should get me through about 12 minutes. I got a little bit of work to do.
So now that we've shared what we've been up to and what's going on, we'll get to some questions because I know some of you have waited a very long time to answer your questions. This last page that we're doing almost catches us up. The new questions that we have are only like a week and a half, 2 weeks old. So hooray, that means we're getting caught up finally.
Yeah, we actually did fall a long ways behind. There was lots and lots of good questions, and and when you get 40 questions and literally all 40 of them are worthy questions, all of a sudden you feel like you've fallen way behind. But it's been a little bit of fun playing catch up on those.
Yeah, it's been good.
First question?
Yeah, let's dive in.
First question. Does an awakening lifetime, twin flame or not, usually occur in one's final incarnation? It doesn't make sense to me that one would awaken / experience ego death and have the veil of illusion lifted and experience unity consciousness only to incarnate again for another unawakened life. It resonates more with me that twin flames and other old souls would awaken and reunite on all energetic levels, and then the soul has just about completed its earthly learning and is ready to continue its evolution exclusively in higher realms. But I don't know this for certain, and I'd love to know your thoughts.
I'm glad to go first on that one.
You can go first on this one.
Because this is my realm. I love the higher realms and what happens after we leave Earth, because Earth's not so much my place of being. I've accepted it here. It took me a long time to do that, but I still like the higher realms. However, though, I used to so agree with your comments in terms of, once we awaken and we know who we are and why we're really here, it's most likely our last life and we're never coming back. By the way, if you're hearing all that jingling, it's just our dog. She's getting all excited playing with toys. I wish I could show you. She's rolling around on the floor being her goofy self.
Being the dog.
Yes. So yes, I used to agree and often say, I am never coming back. This is my last life. Now that I know what's going on and who I am as a soul and I'm awakened, forget it. I am so done. And I think a lot of us have said that, whether in frustration or just an awareness of, okay, now that we get the game per se of what, human life is all about, we don't need to come back. But my perspective has changed a little bit on that, only because how many times have I said we're all different, even though we're the same, we come from the same light, the same source. Each soul has its own choices that it can make, and some souls will probably come back. We're finally just getting to what some of us might call the good stuff, where we're creating new earth, we're creating a lighter world that's more full of love and full of light and full of peace. So to me, I'm like, I don't want to just do all this work and then go back to the higher realms and not come back and experience some of the joys of New Earth and, being able to do what we do in the higher realms on Earth. So that's my take. I will probably come back, even though I was one that swore that I was done. I'm never coming back here.
She's just going to send me back.
Yeah, that's right. I'll stay up there and you can come back and your part of the soul can experience it all and you can tell me how it all goes.
Because I feel like I'm going to be coming back. I really do.
Wow,
I've just gained a dog.
Yeah. She just leapt right onto the lap.
So, yeah, I've got a couple of thoughts on this. Maybe Angie and I, we've awakened enough and this is our last hurrah and then we get to step on and we don't need to come back. But two other perspectives. One is we may have just awakened enough now that if we come back, we can still be part of the leadership role for second, third, fourth, fifth waves to help still be in part of the leadership bit, because we've come this far, and to take what we've learned and not bring it back and continue on in other lives, that would almost seem like a little bit of a shame. But then again, there's other people that are going to be wakening up too, so I don't know if we'll be needed. That really is a good part of the question. Also, we have done our awakening under the circumstances of this life. Under most categories, we've had a little bit of a gifted, well, let's just call it a first world life. We haven't, we weren't incarnated into extreme poverty with zero education and everything else like that. Our perspectives and how we learned and why we learned might be a lot different if we were incarnated into much tougher circumstances. As much as we have had challenges in our first world ways, maybe this has just brought us forward enough that if we incarnate into tougher circumstances, we'll be able to get through those with what we've learned here. So, do I feel like this was my last life for any particular reason? Actually, not at all. I've got a desire to come back. I think I'm going to be coming back, and I think that this life might have been structured the way it was so that I could step forward with learnings.
And I think it's different for every soul. Every soul has its own desires, its own intentions, its own pattern of growth. So there might be many awakened souls that are on the earth now that are going to stay in the higher realms, because there's lots to do there too. It's not like you sit twiddling your thumbs bored out of your mind. I mean, there's so much creation that happens. You can actually create other worlds, create other planets. I've even read, I think it's in Michael Newton's books, that there's in spirit you can actually like create new animals, and all sorts of fun things happen there. So it's not like it's boring there, but I think as souls we enjoy the game of earth. We enjoy the play of it. When we're in spirit and we're so excited to come back here because there's so much fun in the growth and the experience. And then when we come here, we're like, oh my God, did I really pick that? Like, was that really what my soul chose? And it genuinely is. And the harder the life, the more the soul wanted the experience of growth and challenge and fun.
Besides, I don't want to abandon my poor soul group. Hi, you guys go play. I'm finished. I'm really done with this. No. I'd be like, okay, what's next? Well, at least with the personality and understanding that I have now.
Yeah. So when you remember that this is all just a play, it's all a game, it becomes fun. And we often do want to come back just because we enjoy the fun. We enjoy the experience of the contrast. Whereas when you're in soul form, there's much less contrast. Everything is quite calm and peaceful and flowing easily. So we actually like the challenge, the contrast, the growth on a soul level. So I think a lot more people will choose to come back than not, even though they may say, currently I am never coming back. I was one of those for many years. I'm finally just starting to come around, going, well, maybe. But again, once we're in soul, it might be a completely different perspective. Most of us will be like, yeah, I totally want to go back. I want to finish what I started. We started something awesome on New Earth, and we want to keep creating. So, who knows?
I'll take my half of the soul and come back here, and you can take your half of the soul and go explore another realm.
Okay.
Meet you when those are both done.
Okay, but I'm going to take my whole half of the soul. I'm being a smart ass.
Your whole half.
My whole half.
Oh.
Next question.
Next question.
Before we end up on a big tangent.
Oh,
yeah.
We could.
Yeah.
That first question could spin us off for an hour.
Oh, I just meant on my whole half comment. I was being a smart ass about I'm a whole soul, not a half soul.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Beside for twins feeling each other's consciousness, do you ever feel your energies and souls merging, mingling together? Example, my twin fell asleep on the couch and I was upstairs in bed. We were at a pivotal moment in our journey. I woke up feeling our energies pulling through the floor and down the stairways to each other. I rolled over and saw our energies, like light streams, playing or talking together. I knew we were becoming one even more. A little later, my twin woke up and came to bed. We slept peacefully for an hour, then we both woke up with the same experience again. Above us was our energies, mixtures of colors, yet all the same. Both of us were completely vibrating. We both felt extremely sexual, but not just humanly. It was our souls wanting to make love through our bodies, if that makes sense.
Totally.
Yes, that does make sense.
Yes.
We made love, and it was absolutely our souls leading the way, even more so than ever before. I'm not sure if other twins experience this. The answer is yes, or at least this set of other twins. I think we have heard quite often other people describe that the merging of souls elevates the energies and awarenesses and the feelings of everything. It's a very common comment, and when you experience it for the first time, it's quite surreal. You often go, "What was that? And how did that happen? And can we find that again?"
Totally. I know. Then your human self wants to try and recreate it, and it's not something you can recreate because it happens on a soul level. When it happens, you can't force it. But yeah, for us, I loved how they described how they experienced it. We've not experienced that where we've been in separate rooms or separate floors and felt our energies like pulling together. That's cool. But we often describe the I wrote it down.
Well, I'm thinking of the melty snuggles.
Yeah. That's it.
The melty snuggles that we have. They're just unbelievable.
Yeah, where you're like snuggled together and you can't tell whose arms are whose legs are whose. It's like you literally feel like you've melted your bodies together.
You feel like a grilled cheese sandwich. It's just turned into one nice blob.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
I've just come back from a run and I haven't eaten yet. My mind's in the realm of grilled cheese sandwich.
That's funny. So we totally experience that often. We experienced that way back first time around, like 1997. But we still almost, I don't think every day we experience it, but almost.
No, I'd say 3 or 4 times a week.
I was going to say a couple times a week.
Yeah, and sometimes it's many snuggles in a row. And you don't have to do anything else. You just lay there in that snuggle, and it's just beyond blissful.
Yeah.
Your alarm goes off, if you want to call it hitting the snooze button. The snooze button goes off again, and you're just like, no, I don't want to move. But it keeps on ringing and
ringing. You're all stuck together, and you're like, I can't move because I don't know where my leg is. I don't know which arm's mine.
I got to roll over. Could you roll away first so that I know where I am?
Yeah. But also what they described about the colors. I have totally experienced that. Before Rob and I were living together and we were just starting to come into union, I remember still it was a Saturday. Sorry, I'm throwing dog ball.
We're keeping the dog entertained. Yeah. It's over there. You missed it. It's over there.
It was a Saturday in the winter because I told you we were twin flames in November. So it was probably December or January. I think it was January because you were like doing inventory stuff. Yeah. You were busy at work. And I went to meditate on a Saturday morning. And I just experienced, and again, this is not something you can force, right? It just happens when it happens. But I experienced this beautiful energy of our soul, our one soul coming back together. And it was like this flowing colors and just so beautiful. It was almost like if you've ever seen Northern Lights, how they dance and they move and they flow. But it was like all the colors of the rainbow in pastel-y kind of colors. And it was a little bit sparkly, not like sparkly, but just a little bit. But just the way it would dance and flow and move, and it was just so electric and alive. And I remember just sitting there in meditation with tears streaming down my face because I could feel the love of our soul. I could see the energy of our soul, and just the whole merging of it all back together. It was exquisite. I wish there was words to really describe it, but it's one of those things. It's a soul experience. It's hard. Like, there's just no words to really put to it.
I think you actually described that very well. Not that I've had a chance to experience that. I'm slightly jealous, but it's just not mine to experience. I experience
Oh,
other
yeah,
things.
maybe
Not,
someday.
maybe someday.
Just because you're the Matrix twin, it doesn't mean you can't have the spiritual experiences.
Oh,
You're-
and
why
I
are you
do.
so like wired tonight?
Reason she's so
Oh,
wired is she
wow.
hasn't caught us down here on floor level
Oh, that's
recently
true.
doing a video.
That's
So
true.
so she's
like
all excited.
squirrely.
normally she's like below knee level. Now she's got two whole humans on ground level.
Yeah. But yes, I hope you do get to experience it someday, because it's.
Yeah.
So I remember I'm trying to text this to him while he was at work back in whatever that was, 2014, 2015. And it was just so hard to even put into words in a text, because it was just like, how do you describe colors and sparkles and light and love and flowing? There just wasn't words to put to what I experienced. But
You talked about Northern Lights. It'd be just like your aura dancing.
yes,
Same idea.
yes, yep, totally. And how it shifts and it moves, and yeah. So yeah, when the person answering the question described it that way, completely, totally had that experience. Loved it. Would love to have it again. I've also known people in the twin flame community who've experienced neat things where they'll look in the mirror and they'll instantly get this like flash of their twin flame's face.
Beside them or behind
Or
them.
in them.
Yeah.
So they'll see themselves in the mirror, and then all of a sudden it's their twin, and then they'll come, their own face will merge back in.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And I've also experienced, again, before we were living together, I remember one morning I just was lazing around. I didn't want to get up. And I could feel, oh my God, it's hard to explain this one. I could feel his hands inside of my hands touching me. It was the weirdest, coolest experience. I don't know if you remember that I had told you that, and you were like, God, I'm envious. I want to be your hands being my
Yeah.
hands. It was funny.
It's almost a country song in there somewhere.
But it was just so cool to feel the merge. I could feel him inside of me, touching me as him, but with my hands. Really cool. If you haven't seen the movie In Your Eyes, I don't know the actors' names, but it's a fairly recent, newer movie. It's some of the stuff they experience is kind of what I've experienced and what other people have experienced. So yes, very cool things happen on this journey with merging and energies, and it's awesome. Okay, I think I've rambled on about that for a while. I'm loving these 5D questions because I'm like the 5D person. I love talking
And
these things.
I like these questions too. I really do. I like our melty bits.
Yeah.
I totally participate in melty bits.
Or
Okay.
unzipped snuggles, as we call them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, just wrap. Done.
Yeah. It's like being zippered into I always called it a lamb suit. I don't know why I picked lamb. I don't know.
I don't know. My mind is still melting 2 pieces of sliced cheese and a grilled cheese sandwich together again.
Okay, we better go on to the next question before we talk about food, because then Rob's going to be gone.
Oh, that'll
whole
be it.
other realm.
See you next video.
Yeah.
Hi, Angie and Rob.
Hi.
Since it's impossible not to think about our TF at all, what are the healthy ways to think about our TF? The reason I ask to hear about your advice on this is because I used to feel sad when I missed my TF. Since last separation, I've been focusing on myself, working on my passion, healing past life wounds, etc. Now I don't feel negative about thinking of him. In fact, I feel more hopeful about the future. I guess I'm on the right track on this journey. That's with a question mark. I hope you can share some of your insights on the healthy ways of missing our twins. Because I know there are a lot of TF out there who are feeling devastated about separations. I used to feel like that too. I hope they can find peace when they think of their twins during separation. I know it's easier said than done, but it's doable. There must be ways. Since there are lots of twins watching your videos, would you please share your insights on this to help? Thank you very much.
I can easily dive in, but I don't want to like take all the.
You don't want to just run right over me?
No. So, if you have comments, I'll just. You missed it. You missed it.
I know you did the zip.
I did your dad thing.
You did my dad's zip.
Yeah.
That's how my dad used to refer to sometimes commenting on stuff around my mom.
It was so funny.
He would think the wiser of it, and we would understand, because if he wasn't going to comment, it wasn't our turn to comment either.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Okay. First of all, I feel it's very important to remain positively focused on your TF. Focusing on either A, the good times, or B, the various hopes for the future or the good memories of the past. It's important to stay positive, because where you are is what you attract. If you're always concerned about the negatives and the oh my, it's never going to happen, well, then you're probably going to manifest a little bit more of the oh my, it's never going to happen. Being a twin is not supposed to be a negative experience, but at the same time, there is a lot of, I don't want to use the word overhyped. I don't have a better word for that. There's a lot of very, very high expectations that come along with twin flameism, and the expectations are not unrealistic, but they're part of a journey. They also, for a lot of people, just don't fall right in your lap right off the bat. So there's a lot of journey to be had, and it's important to remember to be not only positive about your twin, but positive about yourself. Hence why the working on yourself is so important. You need to be able to hang your hat on yourself as far as remaining happy and positive, so that your twin flame relationship, whether it's functioning on an everyday or every week or every month basis or not, is still a positive experience in your life.
Wow, I don't even need to address this. You just covered it all. I'm gonna go over here and have a nap in the nice warm fire.
Yeah.
I'm looking at myself. My eyes are all drooped. I've been awake since like 3 this morning because energy
and little bits of life.
Lots of life.
Okay, your turn. You can comment.
Okay. So I've done 2 separate videos on this, the little videos that I have started doing on my own. I might, now that YouTube gives you the opportunity to like link other videos, I might add those 2 somewhere up wherever it puts them, so you can watch those. But I will kind of comment on some of the tips that I shared in those videos. So yeah, like Rob said, think of the good times. Remember, reflect back on when you were together and you were both happy and you were in love or feeling the joy, feeling that bliss, in that bubble love. I know some people find that painful to remember that, because then they're like, well, I don't have that now. But, if you follow at all Abraham Hicks' teachings, you want to put yourself in the energy of joy, in the energy of the vortex, as they say, because that's where you create from. Lower vibrational energies are, of course, going to create low vibrational things. So if you want to create high vibration, if you want to create more joy in your life, think of times when you had joy. Well, how many of us had joy at some point in our twin flame connection? Otherwise, we wouldn't be trying to get it back, right? So remember those times. You can even experience your life as if your twin was with you. This is one of the things I did a lot when Rob and I were apart. Before we were coming into union, as we were coming into union, I would, we've shared before, I would get flashes of him living with me. So I would actually take those and make them as real as possible. Even when I went to sleep at night, the way we describe how we snuggle at night now is exactly what I used to imagine. I used to go to sleep every night imagining his arms around me, just enveloping me. And I would make it so real that it felt like he was really there. And now that's my reality. So putting my energy into that has created it. Not saying for anybody that it's going to create it instantly, because this journey has a process, has a path. But just remember, feel, bring in the joy that you had at one point in your experience.
As I hear more and more other people talk, and as I recount and listen to what happened with our experience, I also do get the feeling that Angie's very positive work was working through our connection and positively affecting my journey as well.
Totally.
Keeping me propelled on more and more learning, exposing me to other circumstances that allowed me to grow enough to re-accept our bond again. So I think without Angie's positive work, I might have been a lot more on my own and possibly not near as growthful without it.
Yeah. So yeah, take the past, the joy, the love that you experienced in the past with that person, and then recreate it as if you're living it now. Bring that joy in. I mean, it might sound crazy or maybe not. I just did a video, I think it was last week, on telepathy. You can talk to your twin flame. Like, telepathy is not hard. It's not like it has to be some mystical experience. It's simply talking to them in your head, or you can even talk to them out loud. I used to be walking down the street sometimes and forget that I was out in public, and I'd be having this conversation with Rob out loud, and then I'd be like, oh, yeah, right, I'm out in public. I guess I should go back to talking to him in my head. But, if you're alone at home or with people that aren't going to think you're crazy, you can talk to your twin flame. Bring them into your everyday experience. Share with them everything that you're going through, the frustrations, the joy, the love, the everything. Talk to them as if they're there, because they are. Even though you may not experience that physically 3D, they are always with you, and they are picking up on every energy you send out. So you want to send out as much joy and connection as possible instead of anger and frustration. Yes, that's part of the journey, and I'm not saying don't feel those things. I'm saying just be consciously aware of the energy you're putting out, because your twin is getting all of it. So I could go further into that, but I won't go on and on because I'm good at that. You got the dog washing their legs.
Do. I don't need a shower tonight.
No.
I've just had a full bath.
Yeah. I think I wrote some notes. I wanted to make sure I kind of covered.
Good times, energies. Think of,
the future life that you want to create.
Want to create. Yeah, we covered that.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, and be patient.
Rob wouldn't be Rob if he didn't say that. Okay.
Next question.
Yeah, it's a bit of a long one. So be patient.
All right. My inner guidance has told me my energy and my twins are merging with source energy, creating a third energy. While I know this is a wonderful thing, I still don't have a clear picture of exactly what this means in 5D. My understanding has always been that each of us is a ray of one of the Sun, Source, God, and we are always connected to Source in the higher realms. My inner being has explained that the energy of my twin and I being rather like a wishbone. Our ray from Source has always been one soul energy in higher realms, and also understanding that we have always been connected to God's Source, and what has happened changed in the merging with Source. Does it relate to the reunification happening all the way down to 3D? That's a good question.
That's why I underlined that, because
Yeah.
I really liked how they worded that.
I recall
Very
early
wise.
in your journey, your angels were telling you to send Rob love. Okay, I'm good with
Yes, way
that.
back in 97, 98, they'd even wake me up in the middle of the night. Send him love.
They said that we were merging.
Yep.
Later, shortly before you came together, during a meditation, you saw your energy and Rob's completely combined. You just talked about
I
that.
know, isn't that cool? When I read this and read that, I was like, wow.
They link.
Totally. Again, we did not intentionally put those questions together. They're just in the order we received them.
I am assuming that what you saw was the same merging with source/third energy. I confess I didn't fully understand it when you described seeing your souls merged into one soul, as I thought we were always merged in the higher realms. Well, that's kind of neat, because that's why we split in the lower realms, is so that we can get that differentiation. Just sort of like how Source split into souls to begin with,
Right.
to get that differentiation.
Right.
I've split away from the question here.
No, but it's a good split.
And on a related note, what does this mean for our higher selves? As long as we are incarnated into two separate bodies, do we each have our own aspect of higher self? Yes.
I say yes. I just had that question with somebody else in my little video that I did the other day.
Or at some point, do they merge into one shared higher self? Yes. While we are still incarnated. And finally, does this recombining of energy into third energy mean that if we all incarnate again in the future, it will be as a reunified soul rather than as twins? I might let you tackle that one. There is a whole lot there.
Okay, no licking.
No licking?
You can lick him, not me. You don't like the licking.
She's got the dog now.
Can't stand the licking.
Okay. Our souls.
My hair's bugging me too.
Our souls are looking for experiences.
You get the dog again.
I got the dog back. Our souls are always merged as far as an understanding is concerned, but split as far as experience is concerned. This is why my belief is that we are experiencing different things, because as one soul and one body, we couldn't experience enough to keep the growth going.
Right.
When you've learned enough, you sometimes have to split out to have two bodies, so that there's twice as much input. Maybe this is a certain time in our evolution, our soul's evolution. There was the right words. That we needed to skip forward at a faster pace. So this was a time to be truly separated as twins. I am a little unsure myself whether or not you have a life as a twin and then a life as a single, and a life as a twin and maybe a second or third life as a twin and then a life as a single, when you bounce back and forth. I'm kind of inclined to think that once you've twinned, for the most part, you stay twinned. Maybe only one twin is incarnated at a time, but until the learning is done, I think that the soul remains twin capable and actually twin identified until the learning on this realm is done. That's my take. Angie could have a completely different take.
I'm just amused by the word twin capable. I like it.
I have a dog.
You are wired tonight. Holy squirrely dog.
Okay.
This is a hard one for me to tackle tonight with my lack of full brain power. It's been a very stressful day.
Oh, you've had a month.
Well,
You've had a very stressful month.
yes. But
Yeah.
today's been,
Just wired.
yeah, just little side topic. I think I shared in my last video. We live in what's called a homeowners association. So it's not a condo, like you own your home, you own your land, but it's sort of run as like a community. And I've been the secretary of it for 7.5 years, and I'm working on transitioning out of it because I have lots on my plate and I can't do everything anymore. And I don't want to do everything anymore. But it's not been an easy process. And today it kind of all went poof. Side story. Anyway. So I'm a very 3D, which is odd. I'm not usually the 3D person, but I'm very 3D today.
Yeah. So
5D is kind of a stretch, so I need maybe some guidance again. Does it relate to okay.
Have we always been one soul energy in the higher realms? I said yes.
And see, that's a hard question to answer because while we're here in humanness, and again, all the books I've read too, you know, even when we go back to spirit, we don't just merge back with source energy and become one with it. We are still individuated portions of the larger source energy.
We might go back to the same boat, but we still row our own oar.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. I think I've only read one book where he actually merged back with source energy, and that was the Billy Fingers book.
Oh, yeah.
What's it called?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's Billy Fingers something or something. The Life of Billy Fingers. I can't remember. Amazing book if you love this 5D kind of stuff. The Afterlife of Billy Fingers. That's what it's called. But all the Michael Newton and those kind of books that I've read, and I love this stuff, so I read a lot of those kind of books, they don't talk about the fact that, you know, you go back to after you die, if you want to put it that way, after you transition back into spirit, you don't just merge back with source energy and become one with it. We are still individuated portions of the whole. So I think it's kind of the same for twin flames. We're still going to have our own separate souls, but it's such a dichotomy. And this is the weird, hard thing about all of this 5D stuff. There's a yes and a no to every piece of it. So yes, we are fully merged, but we can still be individuated. And I'm sorry if I'm not explaining that very well tonight.
The way that I feel it, and of course, here we go again. We totally don't discuss these questions before we try to answer them.
No, because I think it's better this way.
I believe that we have our own individual energies, okay, but the two other primary energies that we feel is when our individual energies come together, we feel more of our original single soul energy. I don't see it as creating a third energy. I feel it as recognizing an original energy.
Oh, that's interesting.
Before
I kind of do see a third energy, but okay.
The third energy that a person might feel if it's completely unrelated to your existing energy might be the recognizing the unfamiliar energy of source energy that you disconnected from before you were incarnated. I believe it's much easier, though, to feel your original soul's energy as a single energy, as opposed to feeling a completely different other energy. So that some people may be able to do that. So I think you have to kind of go within to understand which energy you're feeling. But I wanted to throw that back in there as far as feeling your individual soul's energy before it split.
Got it. So, tough answer.
Well, it becomes a matter of, well, in 3D we'd describe it as opinion, but in 5D it's called resonance, and that's what I resonate with.
Okay.
Others may resonate with that. They might not, because what they're actually feeling might be a completely new energy, or feeling source energy to the point that it feels like a new energy. That might be what they feel. We don't all have to experience the same thing.
No.
Or else then we wouldn't be experiencing anything different for source to tap off of.
That's right, to experience the contrast.
So what Angie describes is what some people are going to be feeling. What I described, the two different opinions of that, or what
That's
some,
true.
some people are going to be feeling.
I like that.
So if you had 30 people in a room, you would have all of those being represented. Somebody would resonate with every angle.
Did you see what she just brought down?
Yeah, we've now got a problem. We now have a squeaky toy in the building. Oh no!
Oh, Cookie, you're funny tonight. Here, play with that one. It's quiet.
I can get that one.
Okay, so this is our last question, but I'm going to go off on a little tangent just for some fun here.
Okay.
Did we sort of answer this
Oh.
lady's great questions?
This is another one. This is another one of those questions that we could go on for an hour.
I almost feel like this one could have its own video, and I could do better service to it when I'm not
being squeaked at by a dog.
Exhausted. Look at my eyes. They look like they're going to fall out of my head. They're so tired. But okay, hide it. They're perfect. Oh, goodness.
It's a good thing you can't see everything.
Definitely time to go. We're all getting squirrely. Okay, I have a question. It's a little off topic, but maybe not.
You got a question for me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because we are in union now, here on this earth, in 3D,
yes,
does that mean we're always going to be in 3D union? Or how we've talked about, like, you plan to for sure come back to Earth because you like it here. And I've always been like, maybe not. And I'm just starting to be like, maybe I will. So just because you come into union with your twin in this life, on this Earth, does it mean you're always going to be in union in 3D union? Like, what happens if in another life I decide to go back to one of my planets that I love, my Pleiades, and you decide to come back to Earth? We can do that.
In a Word document tucked away in some corner of the computer upstairs, I've started a description of the 7 levels of being connected with your twin. Sometimes you're not even incarnated at the same time. Sometimes you're incarnated at the same time, but you're on opposite ends of the planet. You don't even know that each other exists. Sometimes only one knows the other person exists. Now this is working up into what I call the 3rd level. Sometimes you both know each other exists, but you're not capable of being in touch with each other. Sometimes you're capable of being in touch with each other, but it's just not your destiny to be together. Sometimes you do know about your twin, and you do experience life in the same realm of life, but you're not together. Sometimes you're together. Sometimes you're in total union. Like there's 7 or 8 different levels, and every lifetime could be different. Maybe you're in union twice in a row, and then you have 20 lives where you're dimly to not even aware that you even have a twin during those lifetimes. That's out learning different things, and then you combine and check notes and have grown as a soul when you go back into spirit after your lives.
Now I realize I may have triggered some of you because you'd be like, well, wait, what? The minute I get to union, I am never leaving my twin on this planet or any other one.
In this incarnation has its purpose. The next incarnation may not require union purpose.
Because we don't know. Our souls...
We don't know.
Once we leave this planet, our souls always have a much grander vision than our 3D self does, right? Our ego and our soul often have very different perspectives, very different intentions.
I sometimes... Okay, and I got 2 takes on this again. Does a soul have ego? Ego is a very 3D thing, but at the same time, if a soul thinks it's getting a little too big for itself, spirit may allow it to bring its 2 halves together for a life, and just maybe expose some other things that maybe need to be relearned in a different incarnation. So maybe being together is kind of a test for our soul to see how well we're really doing. We think we've just got it all together, and when we step on beyond this incarnation, maybe we'll have some more notes and some more experiences to maybe patch up some of the rough spots that we experienced in this life. So
That's an interesting perspective.
Yeah.
I like it. Wow.
This might
That's-
just be a
that's
this
pretty
life
deep.
a litmus test for our learning.
Mm.
And did we choose to do this as a soul, or were we assigned to do this because we were thinking that we maybe didn't have to incarnate again, and we thought that we had kind of learned it all? I'm way too humble for that. That's why I figure I got to come back and do more
We
learning.
never learn it all.
That's
it's a
right.
constant experience of
Or-
growth.
Or
Constant.
maybe, and of course on the flip side of this, maybe our individual halves of our soul had learned enough that it's time to compare notes. And that's why we're together.
But it doesn't mean our learning is over.
No, it doesn't mean the learning's over. It just
No.
means that maybe the notes are being merged on a 3D level for maybe a tougher assignment next time around. Apparently for my half.
Just never know. But you're not a half. I hate the half word.
Yeah, I know. That for my different share.
Your different share. Your 100% portion of
Of my 100% portion of my half. You started this. We're gonna have to fix this later. getting all halfway between excited and confused because it's a great concept.
It's interesting, the questions tonight. They were all really deep 5D.
Yeah.
There, kind of.
And I had no idea after going out for a run and almost getting rained on and getting slightly chilled that I would be just so crazily into this.
I know.
But I've had a great video.
You're funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, now we're getting squirrely, which means it's time to go. And we've answered the questions. Yay!
We've got all 4 of our questions done.
And we did it in under an hour, which that's progress.
That's okay.
Okay.
Next time, different batch of questions.
Yeah. And I have been wanting to do a Creating Union video. I even know what our topic is. Spirit has told me the topic weeks ago.
And we've got our Creating Union backdrop just right there, ready to go.
But it's just not time. Every time I try to do the notes, I get it's just like this wall. So
I think we
when
need to
it's
just.
time. It'll be time.
I think maybe we should just wing it.
Except then I'll look back and I'll be like, oh, I wanted to say that. Oh, why didn't I say that?
Always happens. That's why there's always another video.
Wow, aren't you so full of wisdom tonight?
Is it time for us to go?
Yeah. But I did want to say, for those of you coming to the workshop that we have met before, we're so excited to see you again.
There's a small list of names, and
some people that we've met at previous workshops. Some from the Banff workshop, some from Chicago, some from Boston.
Yeah.
So we're like super excited to see you again. I was just listing all the people to Rob the other day, and I was like, we get to see these people again. And for those that are coming that we haven't met yet, yay! We're super excited to meet new people too.
Yes.
So yeah, we're looking forward to it.
You'll become part of the list of people that we get to meet in future workshops.
That's right. And be going, oh, now we get to see them again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We first met them in XYZ/Niagara Falls.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We love you guys. We are sorry we haven't been around for a while. No guarantees on when we'll be around again because I just can't make guarantees anymore.
No, we can't. I suspect
Not with this energy.
With the coming of winter and right after the workshop, I'm sure there's going to be lots more happening. I could see us being around a little bit more once October hits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Good night, guys. Or good
night.
morning.
Or yeah, morning.
Bye.
Bye.